Hi, my name is Shelby Knoll, and this is my lesson plan if I were to teach a kindergarten class. And my ABCD method is students will identify characters, settings, and major events from two stories, one read from me and one read from an audiobook, using a variety of materials to help them through the questions. They will successfully be able to understand and comprehend stories in a more meaningful way. The strategies I chose for this lesson are providing a variety of materials, scaffolding, learning centers, and tic-tac-toe. For the materials that I picked, I tried picking stuff that I found fun when I was this age. So they would include costumes, which I'll explain each of these when I get further into this PowerPoint. But I'm going to be using costumes, dress-up dolls, puppets, markers, crayons, a projector for the audiobook, poster board, and of course the book that I'm going to be reading to the class, which is Grumpy Monkey by Suzanne Lang. I tried picking stuff that would keep them more engaged and interested in what they are learning. So to start with, I picked out a video from YouTube. I found this video to be kind of fun. I might just show just a little snippet of it just to kind of get an idea of what I picked. So basically, this video just kind of gets kids excited about reading, obviously, and it's just kind of a fun way, I think, to start out with the lesson that I picked. So after the video, I will be reading this book, The Grumpy Monkey by Suzanne Lang. And when I'm reading it, I'm going to kind of walk through the setting and kind of explain it a little bit more, as well as to kind of discuss the setting and just, the major events and the characters, just to kind of help my students understand it a little bit better. So then after we read this book, we're going to break into centers. So I had made 3 different centers, and they're each kind of complementing of either a major, one of the centers would include something to do with the major events, one would include something to do with the characters, and then another one would kind of include something to do with the setting. So for the first center, it's going to be something to do with the characters. So I'm going to have dress-up dolls provided. It'll be boys and girl dress-up dolls. And the students are going to kind of use their imagination. So they can kind of make these characters how they would each pick a character from the story, and I was going to give them each just a dress-up doll. And they're going to dress it up how they think the character would look in real life. And they kind of would take turns picking a character. And then they would come to me and it kind of explain, give me one thing they know about this character, and maybe discussing about if they're a happy character or a sad character, or if they're a good character or a bad character. It just kind of gives them a little bit of an open mind of using their imaginations to kind of describe the characters. So then the next center would include the setting. So basically, what they're going to do is they're each going to get a poster board, and I'm going to have them draw the setting of the story. And it'll be just kind of a cool way, kind of a fun thing. They can use, again, they can use their imaginations. And then once they are done making their poster, they're going to show it to me. Each of them are going to show their poster that they made to me. And then I'm going to have them take a vote on what they think the weather is like in this book, what they think maybe the setting is, so like what season it is, are they outside or inside, just things like that. They're going to just take votes on it. So then for the next center, we are going to have puppets. So with these puppets, the group is going to work together and they're going to kind of create sort of like a skit. and they're going to pick one major event from the story, and then they're each going to be a certain character in this skit. So then when they have completed their skit, they're going to present it to me, and I'm going to grade them based off of how well they do. So if I had Carter in my class, the adaptations I would have, I listed them off. Carter will be monitored while working with others. He will be given instruction on how to behave and act around others. He will be read the stories again to just ensure that he understands the stories better. And then for the final assignment, which I will be describing later in this PowerPoint, Carter will have either me or another teacher available for extra help on that one. Carter will also be given a separate space from his peers to prevent him from feeling overwhelmed with the amount of peers in the classroom. More time will be given to Carter to ensure that he is able to complete the tasks. If drawing assignments become too much, accommodations will be made. Carter could discuss with me one-on-one about the character, the setting, and one of the major events from the story. Carter can also use puppets and dolls to help him understand this second book. I can also help by acting out major events so that he can understand the stories better. For closure, I think it'd be fun to play another reading book or reading video, and I'm just going to play just a little snippet of it to show you. I liked this video because it kind of just gives students the imagination. They can just imagine themselves in a book, and just it kind of makes it fun. Like I said in the first video, it's another fun one to listen to. Okay, so after this video, this is going to be the second book. I'm going to have them try on their own. This book, it would be on YouTube, and I would just play it through a projector, and they would listen to it, and then they would try on their own, see if they can figure out the setting and figure out the one character of their choosing, and then figure out one major event that happened in this story, and just to see what they know. So they're going to be given 3 different assignments, and they will have 3 choices to choose on each assignment. So the assignment 1 is describing characters in the story. So for the first option, sorry, part of it's some of this is cut off, but the first option would be they could draw a picture of one character. So they could draw a picture, and then they would show it to me, and then they would explain to me one thing about that character. Option 2 would be using the dress-up doll. So they can bring a dress-up doll, and they can dress it up how they pick a character, and then dress it up how they think that character looks in real life. And then they could also describe that character to me as well. And then for option 3, they could use costumes. So for costumes, I would have like an area where they could actually dress up themselves as the character that they chose. And then they could go up to me and present which character they are dressed up as. And then I think it could also be fun if they maybe could act out the way the character acted in the book. So for assignment 2, they would describe the setting of the story. So for one option, they could draw the setting on a piece of paper, kind of like what they did in the center. Then for option 2, they could describe it with me. So if they don't feel like drawing or don't really want to, they don't really have to. If they want to, they can just discuss it with me, what the setting is, and that's how I could grade it by that. So then option 3 is kind of another fun thing to do with costumes. They could dress up to fit the weather and the setting. So if the weather, they would have to really listen to the book and figure out if it's cold outside, if it's hot outside. So then they would have to base their costume off of that. And then they would go up to me, and then I would also ask them questions about if they're inside, outside, or just, basically just other things to describe about the setting. So for assignment 3, they would describe one major event from the story. So option 1, they could draw out a skit, so they could make their own skit if they want to, just something that happened in the book, and then they could show me the skit and explain it to me. So then for option 2, they could create their own puppet show. So they could use some of the puppets and then do a puppet show of one of the major events and then present it in front of the class. And if they are too nervous to present in front of the class, they can present in front of me only. So then for option 3, they can just discuss one of the major events with me. And that pretty much sums up everything that I have for my lesson plan. Thank you for listening.